What's going on, guys? I'm James. You're watching Dog Aquatics. I hope you're having an awesome day and you are staying warm because man is it getting cool outside. I apologize about a video not popping up last week. I had a couple of people message me saying, hey, I thought you were putting out a video on Friday. I thought it was too, but apparently the scheduling platform had other intentions and other ideas. So I'm sorry about that. When I do videos, I typically have a few weeks worth planned out and ready to post and all that. And apparently we ran out of video. So here we are. Today we are going to talk about the top 5 best algae eaters. Now that is not just subject to fish. That's not subject to snails, plecos. That is just the top 5 best algae eaters, because we get this question so many times. I'm having algae issues. Okay, what type of algae? Because that is something that some people don't realize, is that there are different types of algae. And not every fish eats that kind of algae. Now there are ones, we'll talk about an algae quick. Blackbeard algae, which everybody in the hobby should know and everybody in the hobby should hate. Because blackbeard algae, once it gets a hold, it's a nightmare to get rid of. And the best things to get rid of blackbeard algae are Florida flagfish or Siamese algae eaters. They do an amazing job as well. But the Florida flagfish isn't on this top 5. I just wanted to mention it because some people have issues with blackbeard and I wanted to give you guys a solution. But anyway, starting out at number 5 is the mystery snail. Now, why the mystery snail? A, because they're on the move and they like to keep busy. Now, will a mystery snail go out of its way to eat algae? I don't think so. If it's in front of them and they're crossing it, I think that they will eat it and they do a good job at it. And you're like, well, James, if they're not that great at eating algae, well, why did you put them on this list? Oh, look. Because this very reason right here. You see how that mystery snail is moving. They're always on the move. So that makes them the optimal algae eater because they're constantly moving around the tank. Now, there is another fish in this tank that is actually number 1, but we will not show that one yet. On to number 4 is another snail. Number 4 is another snail. It's actually the Japanese trapdoor snail. These guys stay relatively small, but they do an outstanding job taking on algae. Whether it's a new aquarium and you have not a new aquarium, but you have a new piece of driftwood in and it's got that algae slime all over it, these guys will go to town on it. They are one of my favorite snails when it comes to algae eating. Just because, just like the mystery snails, these guys are constantly on the move. Now, do be careful because these guys can reproduce like no other and they can take over. Now, where do they get their name? Because they're trapdoors. They actually like to bunker down in sand or soft soil. So you're not going to see them typically up on the glass. You're going to see them moving around the edges of rock or driftwood or right along the edges of the aquarium. Number 3 is definitely one of my favorite plecos, and that is the bristle-nosed pleco, also known as the bushy-nosed pleco. But did you know that only males have the bristles? Females do not. Anyway, guys, these are lemon bristle-nosed. These guys are the true definition of an algae eater. These guys are, I wouldn't say they're always on their move, but look in this like short span how much he is moving around. Now, this is a really affordable bristle nose. Typically, these guys go for anywhere from $15 to $30, depending on their size, age, and gender. But they're absolutely amazing cleanup crew. I guess I lost my train of thought there for a second, but these guys do an amazing job cleaning up algae, and they're awesome to look at as well. Number 2 is one of my favorite fish. And that is the gold ring butterfly hillstream loach. I mean, how could you not love? Look at that color. They are absolutely stunning. These guys love algae. You can see that they are constantly on the move. Now, there are a couple of things with the Hillstream Loach. First off, they do like cooler water and they like faster flowing water. They're typically put in river tanks because of the fast moving water, and you can see them kind of just shimming all along all the rocks. Now, I typically don't recommend these for any tank that is less than 6 months old. And that is because they eat so much algae. Oh, look, there's one right there. You can see the top of him. It's because they eat so much algae and they're constantly on the move that they can actually starve if they're in too new of a tank. Now, you can supplement that with algae wafers or some other food supplements, but it's just not recommended. All right, and number one, guys, you can see him moving around here. This is an Otocinclus algae eater. This is actually a Colombian. There are a couple of different types. You can see a couple of them moving around there. These guys are the ultimate, in my opinion, algae eater. They are constantly moving around, and we just lost sight of them because they are constantly moving. These guys roam so much from plants to rock to everything, and they are up in the top, and we lost sight of them. Oh no. Anyway, guys, I know we only caught a glimpse of them for a split second, and that's because they do move around so much. But once again, the Otocinclus eats so much algae because they are constantly on the move that they need to be in a tank that's at least 6 months old, preferably a tank that is a year old. These guys can be supplemented with algae wafers or a couple of other different foods depending on what you have available to you, but these guys, in my opinion, are the ultimate algae eater, especially, and they do like to be kept in groups, typically 4 to 5, otherwise they'll hide a lot, and they don't come out as often. But tell me what you guys think. Do you think that my list is accurate? Is there something else that you would throw in this list? Let me know down in the comments. As always, guys, stay beautiful, stay safe, and we will see you next time.